Okay, so if you're still early on in your business and you haven't really worked out the details of how everything's going to work, one of the things that, or one of the basic models that I really like is called the business model canvas. So I'm just in Canva and I've searched for business model canvas, and there's a bunch of paid templates. They always put those paid templates up at the top. But if you scroll down, you're going to reach some free ones. This one looks good. And so the business model canvas was invented by a smart business guy, wrote a book, I think. And anyways, it's a great way of just laying out what all of the different components of your business need to be um, thought about and have a plan for. And the way that I'd recommend filling this out is by starting on this right hand side, customer segments, and just start listing out all the different customer segments. So let's say that I am starting, I don't know, a junk removal business. So who are my potential customers for a junk removal business? Well, we have homeowners, and I'm going to say homeowners slash weekend warriors. And then we also might have landlords. So think of landlords when they have a tenant that moves out and left stuff. They don't want to deal with it. So, but also let's think of um, estate companies. So this might be someone has passed away and they've left their home, and so maybe their kids have inherited it and they don't necessarily want to take care of all of the things that are related, so they might work with an estate company to figure out how to deal with all of the items that are still in the home. Okay, so there we go. We have three different segments, and then I would just color each one. So, oh, it's not gonna give me an easy color, so I guess I'll just click over here and say, all right, homeowners, weekend warriors are red, landlords are gonna be, whoops, blue, and estate companies are gonna be green. All right, so now we're gonna go through every one of these sections and identify or answer the questions for each of these different customer segments. So for instance, who are the key partners or significant partners that we could work with to reach homeowners? And so maybe in this case, maybe there might be social media influencers. And I'm trying to think of other partners for homeowners. Maybe HOAs. And let's think, who else would be a key partner that would help us reach homeowners that are looking to empty out their garage? Okay, that's all I've got. So again, I'm going to put this in red. And now we're going to ask the same question. Who are the key partners for landlords? Okay, so this one might be a lot easier. So property management companies, they would be some key partners. So having a relationship with them would be key. I'm trying to think of other landlord. Yeah, I guess maybe real estate agents might be a good one. Typing poorly right now. Okay, and then we're gonna, since this is for our blue landlords, and And finally, we've got estate companies. So for these estate companies, maybe some like auction houses and I don't know, maybe living will and trust lawyers. Might be good to have some partnerships with them. Okay, so that's going to be green. Okay, and so what we're going to do is go through every single one of these and answer the questions for each of our segments, right? What are the key activities that we need to do in order to start this business where we serve homeowners, in order to start the business in which we serve landlords, estate companies? Then value propositions, like how can we bundle our products most effectively for homeowners, for landlords, for estate companies, customer relationships, like what can we do to improve customer relationships with each of these channels? How can we reach each of these customer segments? Key resources, is there any particular asset or something like that that we would need to have in order to serve any of these segments? And then cost structure, revenue streams. We're just going to answer all of these, and this might take an hour or two to build out, but then we're going to have all of this filled out in different colors for each of these customer segments, and then we're just going to look at each one of those color groups and decide which one do we think is going to be easiest for us to execute on all of the different components of this canvas, business model canvas. And another, like the next step beyond that would be to identify what are the metrics in which we can prove that we can successfully accomplish this as quickly as possible. So for instance, maybe I need to prove out that I can reach property management companies and build partnerships with them. So how can I validate that I can build a partnership with these property management companies or real estate agents? And maybe what I'll do is I'll say, okay, I'm going to call up 30 property management companies in the area, and if I can get one partnership lined up where they agree to work with me to clear out, junk when someone's moved out and left stuff, then, I've proven that I can build partnerships there. And then we do the same thing for each one of these. Like, what is the activity that I can do to validate what my assumptions are here? So the idea is if you can validate all of these items before actually making any huge commitment up front, you can save yourself a lot of hassle, right? In this case, let's say I wanted to buy one of those Isuzu trucks with a big dumpster that I can lift up and unload or something like that. And that might be a $60,000 investment. And then if I find out that I actually don't have any way to reach my target audience, my customer segment, I've lost that 60 grand. Nice. Canva, you can find this just on Canva. You can use a free account, just like I'm doing right now, and fill this out. There's other tools out there that you kind of have to pay for to build out more than one of these for, but that might be helpful. I wish there was a tool out there that would allow you to add these metrics to validate all of your assumptions here, so that you can keep track. Maybe I'll build that out in the future. But for right now, just use this Canva and you can really build out all of the details of your business, figure out how can I validate each of the assumptions that I've made in this model, and then prove it out. And if you've proved out everything, giddy up. Time to sink some cash into some assets and start your business.